With that, Patty Peterson.
Check this mic, so there we go. Okay, good. See, you're on the ball. I love that. You're on the Easter egg. Happy Easter. Have to say that. Happy Easter. It's so cool. For me, this morning reminds me of what it was like to get the baskets together. And my kids are now 39, 37, 30, and 23. And what that was like for me the night before when I would do a gig and I'd probably go to bed between 1 or 2 and, knowing my busy lifestyle, I'd probably be making the baskets. We'd probably have done the eggs the day before and trying to get whatever candy and things that both adults and children would eat, and just the anticipation. And of course, would find some cute Easter bunny things to decorate my house and get flowers. And I was reminiscing with Jordan on the way this morning, saying that my mother loved Easter. I'll tell you what, she would love it so much if you came over to her or went to Mass with her and brought her an Easter lily. And she thought that was the most beautiful flower ever. She loved a gardenia, but there was something about getting that Easter lily where she was just almost childlike when you'd give it to her. She loved it so much. And, Easter Sunday to me is a reminder of new beginnings. New beginnings happen in our lives during different times, but the symbolism right now on this day, both pagan and Christian, are just wrapped together. There's springtime happening. There's all of the celebrations that go along with spring, and then the solstice eventually. That's in Chinese 5-element theory. There is that time in the winter where you're going within and you're thinking about what you want to do when it comes to spring, the season of spring, and where you spring forth with all the ideas that you've had and you've been working on during the course of the winter. You spring forth in the spring, and then summer of manifestation and childlike energy. Come on in. We have a really cool day today because it's going to be beautiful. I'm declaring it right now, no rain. So hopefully we're going to get out there and have a walk and just enjoy this springtime a little bit. I was looking up, with significance. When you speak at a place that's more metaphysically based, you don't really look a lot about what are the exact meanings of certain holidays that you celebrate throughout the course of the year. I always like to look for the symbolism between what it is we're celebrating today as a culture and maybe take it a step further. Well, here's a little fun fact for you. The Bible makes no mention of an Easter bunny, but it's all about the bunnies, isn't it? And it's the short-tailed creature, delivers the eggs to children on Easter Sunday, but the Easter bunny has become a prominent symbol of Christianity's most important holiday, okay? The exact origins of this mythical mammal are unclear, but rabbits, known to be prolific procreators, are an ancient symbol of fertility and new life. So here we go with the phrase new life again. According to some sources, the Easter bunny first arrived in the Americas in the 1700s. German immigrants who settled in Pennsylvania transported their traditions of egg-laying hare called Osterhaus or Osterhase. Children made their nests in which this creature could lay its colored eggs. Eventually, the custom spread across the United States, and the fabled rabbit's Easter morning deliveries expanded to include chocolate and other types of candy and gifts, while decorated baskets replaced nests. So that's where that comes from. Additionally, children often left out carrots for the bunny in case he got hungry from all of his hopping. Okay? Now, the largest Easter egg ever made was 25 feet high and weighed over 8,000 pounds. It was built out of chocolate and marshmallow, supported by an internal steel frame. And what do you do with it? I don't know. And then what? I don't know. People melt. You can't really go visit it. And the Easter egg, it's actually likely linked to a pagan tradition. The egg is an ancient symbol for new life. There we go again. Associated with pagan festivals celebrating spring. And then from the Christian perspective, They are said to represent Jesus' emergence from the tomb and the resurrection. Decorating eggs for Easter is a tradition that goes back to the 13th century, according to some sources. And one of the explanations for the importance of an egg was the fact that during Lent, it was a forbidden food. So when Easter came along and it was the new life, that people were so excited to have eggs back in their diet that they decorated them. Anyway, those are some silly fun facts I thought that I would bring up to you today. When we were talking about what the topic was, it was an interesting thing for me to start looking, which I do. I look a lot online about, okay, how does this topic of, for example, today, choose your own story, what other sentences, what has it been used in? How do we pull that into a metaphysical frame of mind? And so I did some researching on that, and I think it'll be really fun to talk a little bit about the choose your own story theme and where it goes. And then we're going to get into the crux of how in choosing our own story it can help us to move past things that have become imprints that hold us back. And those imprints can really deter us from choosing our highest good. Get us maybe in a trap of choosing what's the highest good for everyone else, forgetting to put ourselves in that loop. And we'll talk about what it feels like to envision and channel that new life that we want to have and we want to create in this world. Oftentimes I'll pull up the topic I often speak about, and that is live your gift or your gifts. And that is what is inside of us, each and every one of us. We have gifts. And that's what we're supposed to do in our lives, is live our gifts. But before we get into the talk, I thought maybe we would take a moment right now and do a meditation in lieu of an opening prayer. For those of you who are new, this is what we do. We get settled in our seats and take some deep breaths and feel the chair underneath us. So I invite you to do that right now. And Jordan's going to play just some nice music underneath us while we feel the energy of this room this morning. Tina's already done some beautiful warming up of this room energetically. And there is joy in the air. I feel it in this room. I feel that we've come together this morning to share the same feeling of togetherness, of co-creation, and of moving forward. So I invite you to first take a nice breath, deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath, and exhale. Another deep breath. And exhale, fully relaxing into the seat that is underneath you and feeling the chair back if you're so inclined to sit back. I invite you to shut your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Can you feel your heartbeat? Do you know that it's there because you are meant to be here? That there is a purpose for you in this life. And that purpose woke you up this morning, brought you to this space, and in collective consciousness, we are here to bring new life to a new day and a new time. The renewing of one's energy isn't always easy. There are things we hang on to. They find that place in our heart. And sometimes they are hard to let go of. They become what stops us from the next highest good phase of our lives. And in heart math, when you think about that one thing that you focus on, it lowers your energy and your vibration. So know that that's there for a reason, and you're there to learn. It's there for you to learn from it. In heart math, when it first came out, it said, find a place and a time where you were so happy. And feel that happiness. Authentically feel that happiness. Nothing else. Remember that time. Remember the joy in that split second, that joy that may have lasted through the day. And know that more of that joy can stay with you if you remember that instead of one small part of your heart that you keep going back to. And it isn't that we're going to love, bless, and release that part of our lives, because until the lesson is learned, it will remain. But we also have choice. And choice is to remember that time of bliss. And let that lead us. Let it fill our hearts. You have permission. You have the choice. You can fill yourself up. Take another breath, remembering that joyful feeling. Childlike energy. It's a time of new beginnings. And there is nothing stopping you from leading with this feeling. Your energy is the direct energy of the most loving energy out there in the universe. You are a child of God. And remember that. We have choices. We can choose to stay stuck on the negative, or we can choose that beautiful image of the joy. And with that, I invite you to take another breath. Feel that joyful feeling inside you and kid-like energy. And sit with that for a moment. With this new remembrance of joy, know that your heart emulates this from an energy field far outside of your body. And it will help to change your own vision as you enter the world today. And as we look at new life, your eyes will be opened to the color of the sky, the newly planted flowers, the hostas, the daylilies just popping through the earth. You will see them and you will feel them. And take another breath, and this time feel the chair underneath you. Another breath, and invite your spirit back into your body, and slowly open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Your consciousness is back in this room. And another breath. And gratitude for the glimpse of joy that we felt and can choose to feel. And leading with that love is something that feels so good. I myself can get tripped up. I've been having a couple of days. I'll get into that in just a minute. My son Jordan graduated from the University of Minnesota last spring in advertising, but he's a good musician. He's been playing and singing his whole life. Gee, I wonder why. And I invited him to do this, and my other son Noah and Stuart and I were hanging out together last night, and he said, "Yeah, Mom, I'm sure I'll come and do this." He's introduced me to a lot of wonderful music, and there's a new artist that is up and coming. His name is Ben Rector, and he is, light alternative rock folk. Great messages. He writes, when I listen to his music, he writes a lot about wanting to strive for that brass ring and realizing it's not exactly what it's meant to be. Doesn't fill him up. So here's a song from Ben Rector right now. I used to think I wanted to be famous. I'd be recognized out in a crowd. But the funny thing is, any time I've gotten what I want, it lets me down. Now I just wanna look more like love. I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here that we don't have quite enough of. So I just wanna look a little more like love. I used to think I needed all the answers. I used to need to know that I was right. I used to be afraid of things I couldn't cover up in black and white. Now I just wanna look more like love. I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here we don't have quite enough of. So I just wanna look a little more like love. I find the farther that I climb, there's always another line of mountaintops. It's never gonna stop. And the more of anything I will never be enough. I just want to look more like love. I just want to look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here that we don't have quite enough of. So I just want to look a little more like love. Like love. Like love. Like love. It's Jordan. Great tune. Nice. Nice. Ah, that was really fun. This is cool for me. I was looking. This is a really fun thing. How many of you remember the stories that were written about choosing your own story? Became a kid's book for, like, I would say, tween ages, 10, 11, 12, something like that. It was a Choose Your Own Story series. It started with the dad that was tucking his two daughters in bed, and he would tell a story and he would begin it, and it was probably real life things he was talking about. But then he would go to each of the girls and say, "Now, how do you think the story ends?" So she'd have her way, and then the other girl, and then she'd have her way, and he went, "Wait a minute, why can't I write about this?" And so he did, and he went to his first publisher. It took him 8 years to try to convince somebody to publish the Choose Your Own Story books. Has anybody ever seen any of these? It's like an adventure in the back of the book, but you can, if you want to choose this ending, go to this page. Jordan and I used to read them. You know, we used to hang out and read a lot of books together. So anyway, after 8 years, he went with a smaller publisher, but it did so well that then they went to another publisher, and I think it finally ended up on Penguin Books. So it really is a kind of a cool thing, because there wasn't a lot out there about choosing your own story. So anyway, if you have any little people that you want to buy a book for, it's a really fun, it's an interactive book, they call it. So fun to choose your own story. But we're not talking about them today, we're talking about you. Choosing your own story. Oh yeah, well that sounds right. When you're a little kid, think about this. This is so powerful to me, that when you're a little kid and you think, I am going to be able to ride that bike. I want to ride that bike. I'm going to ride that bike. Do I need my parents to help me? I think I'll ride that bike. And they begin to visualize how they're going to go about riding the bike, right? We were all there. We were all kids. And pretty soon, they've got it. They're out there with the parents, and pretty soon, let go of the back of the course. I got a banana seat in my mind that I'm hanging on to as I'm running after my kids or my brothers. And pretty soon, that visualization, boom, they're out there and they're riding that bike. They chose their own story. They were going to ride that bike. One of my kids, oh my gosh, he was one of those guys who was so mad at the dumb, stupid bike because it wouldn't work. And, you know, we big parents were trying to help him so much that we went in the house. He had that visualization down. He went out, picked up that bike, and rode it by himself. He did it by himself. He had to do it by himself. He had to get mad first. But, you know, I admire kids. I admire kids who hold that vision of what it is they want to do next in their life. Isn't that true? And the other thing is, a kid taking up an instrument because they want to. Holy cats, that is an amazing thing, because they'll find ways to study online, and they'll find chords and words I'd never heard of, tablatures. What? It's how the guitar chords and things are right there online. It's pretty amazing. They're choosing what they want to do. They're visualizing it. They're following through, and they're holding that vision. It's pretty cool. And what happens to the grown-ups? Well, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen for us, too. It does. I mean, choosing your own story. I think we have a lot of stories that we choose in our life. We choose our partners. We choose our jobs. We choose our school we're going to go to. We choose our group of friends. We choose different groups of friends when it doesn't work. We choose the next job. We choose the next vacation. And we choose our life story, too. But sometimes what happens is there is an experience that kind of follows us through our lives. And that experience is something that Debbie Ford wrote in her book. It was all about, I'll think of it, Daymaker or something. It's not Daymaker because that's another author, but she talked a great deal about how one thing can happen in our lives, and it creates this imprint in our lives, and the imprint stays with us. For example, one thing that was talked about in my studies for this talk today was if some people, sometimes if you are adopted, there could be an imprint that I wasn't good enough, they got rid of me, and there could be self-talk that follows you through your whole life about not being good enough. That's an imprint. Yeah. But it could also be that imprint has a completely different story and a completely different vibe. For example, look how lucky I am. I got picked like the best piece of candy in the store. You've heard both sides, right? Yeah. And so then, therefore, with positive affirmation, you go out into the world thinking, hey, I'm pretty special. But that can really permeate some people. Some things happen to us in our lives. Some things happen occasionally that will stay with us. It'll mold our behavior. For example, I was one who took care of my younger brothers when my dad died. I was always looking out for their needs, and it created a pattern in me that was always looking out for somebody else first. I was a young girl. I would say in my early teens, I started caring for my two younger brothers. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that when in life, in choosing people in my life, I would kind of gravitate towards those that I could take care of. Sound familiar to anybody? And here's what the problem was. I could lose myself in those scenarios. And I kind of had to get really uptight in my adult life, and I had to figure out where this essence of depression was coming from. And I'll never forget that I was singing at Key to Life Church, Marion Rice, the minister, and somebody out in the crowd walked up to me and said, "You need this book." I went, "What?" Because I thought, oh no, I'm an actress. Nobody knows that I'm sad inside. It was Codependent No More. I learned a lot from that book. Okay, great stuff. I got the daily journal. I got the, affirmations. I learned a lot about me. Here's the deal. When you're doing that for other people, you got to keep yourself in the loop, because if you don't, you run out of energy, and it becomes the "what about me" award, or "why me," or "how come they don't love me the way I perceive I should be loved." Well, guess what? That's called the attachment to the outcome, and it gets real sticky in there. All you need to do is make sure you're filled up, and you can still be that person that is out there in the world helping others. Not, taking care of is a different story, but helping others. It's something that I do love to do, but darn it, I get run out of energy too. And then I have to step back and say, okay, what have I done for me lately? Remember that song? Anyway, there are things that we can do, choices we can make in order to keep ourselves creating our new story. This is a time of new life. That's what Easter symbolizes to me. And this beautiful flowers, sunshine, buds on the tree. Anybody gone on a walk and see the buds on the tree? This is all happening. We can be a part of this. We can visualize this story as being something I want to be a part of. this opening, this new life. And when you choose your own story, know that you're going to get tripped up sometimes. It's human nature. But those scenarios, that lesson from your childhood when you were younger, to scenarios that might reoccur or might occur in your adult life, are there for you to learn. Now, what happens when you hang on to somebody you're angry with or a promotion you didn't get? What happens is you stay stuck. Instead of choosing that forgiveness piece and choosing to realize that there were gifts in those moments. How did they make you grow as an individual if you really look at them? And if they're still there eating away at you, take them out. This is shadow processing stuff. Talk to them. Why are you there? What is that anger? What is that, I don't choose the right people in my life? What is that voice about, better take better care of yourself, you're too fat, you're so fat, you can't, you're so hyper, your attitude is just crazy. Why are you crazy? These little dark voices, okay, they exist. I don't know, they exist for me sometimes. And I have done enough work where I've realized that they're there for a reason. And it's a whole circle of life, and I've talked about this before, is that when you pull those negative thoughts, negative energies out into a reality and let them go, forgive them, understand their importance, and really get right down to thanking those experiences, those people, because they have chosen to give you, these experiences have given you lessons for you to grow. That's when the healing begins. That's when the healing begins. And that's when you can begin to choose your own life of how you know that those things are there, but you start working on and you visualize like a kid with an instrument, where do I see myself going? You can choose your own story. You can choose your own story when it comes to what you want to eat to feel better. You can there's so much great stuff out there. How you can relieve some of those voices, from journaling to walking to speaking with another person who hears you with an open heart. I talked a lot about that at the first of the year. You can also, in meditation, see yourself a year from now and how you visualize yourself being a year from now. And you can realize that every step that you're taking moves you into the vision that you have of yourself. Who is that? I get confused. I have a lot of visions about myself. I want to get my book done. I want to speak more. I'm working with the American Heart Association in LA now. I have a lot that I want to do. But I'm kind of excited because it all happens. It all happens. If you hold your vision long enough, Abraham, the study of the consciousness of Abraham, they say if you hold that vision 17 seconds, it creates a new vibration around you. And in that new vibration, you begin to attract what that is that will help you manifest that vision that you have. Have you ever tried to hold on to a vision for 17 seconds and not let your mind slip? Has anybody ever tried that exercise? Anybody who follows Abraham, you've heard this. Oh my gosh, it's like, oh, forget it. I've got and the dishes in the dishwasher. No, wait, let's see. Hold that vision. That's why a lot of people go to a vision board, because you can go, oh, that's what it is that I wanted to do. That's right. Seriously, hold that vision, and then the longer you can hold that vision, the more it changes your vibration and therefore attracts to you, law of attraction, what it is you're visualizing in your life. This is a big thing. You go, well, how does it do that? Well, for me, just like in the meditation, when you choose to hold on to the joy that can replace that little window in your heart, the joy in that heart math concept, you go out and you really do. Think of being filled up with joy. That baby's smile is happier. That flower growing is brighter blue than you've ever seen. That blue sky, that green tree, I don't know, something happens and a veil gets lifted. It's pretty cool. So it is about visualizing and moving forward, and the attraction of it coming to you the longer you can hold that visualization for yourself. Yes, you can pray. You can pray about it. You can meditate. You can use the universe's energy. We all have to. Everybody's got their own name for it. But don't do it with worry. This was a really interesting thing that I heard at a service. And that is that if you keep praying, oh God, please do this for me. Oh my gosh, please heal this person, please. It's like once you send the message up, they got it, okay? And if you keep sending it up and you have the angst with it, it's like you don't think they're doing their job. And I went, oh my gosh, that is how I was taught to pray. Please, dear God, where you're just appealing the energy to come and help whomever, whenever. Get me out of this financial burden. Okay, they heard it. Oh, they heard it. Now start visualizing how it is you want to live. Hold that vibration. And the law of attraction starts to make you open your eyes to new possibilities. That's how it begins. Okay? It isn't much more than a vibrational change within you. And that vibrational change allows you to see things in a new light. You get mad at that bike. Kick it down. And go back out there and pick it up and do it again. Seeing things in a new light and holding that vibration and visualizing what it is you want to do. For example, using your gifts in this life. Yes, I heard you. You're supposed to use your gifts in this life. How many use your gifts in your everyday life? Think about it. Singers, listeners, parents, grandparents, good co-workers. So think about it. Think about what's your gift? Plural. What are your gifts? You can tell me. You don't have to. So the thing is, I had this near-death experience, and there was something when I came back from my open heart surgery that it took me a long time to get back into singing, let alone who knew I'd be up here talking. But when I was doing a church service and just singing, and a woman said, oh, Patty, I loved your music. And I went, well, I'm so lucky. Thank you so much. I have these great platforms in which to sing. But music follows us all around, good times and in bad. She goes, no, you really live your gift. And just like this zing from another place. Oh, by the way, her name was Joy, and I've never seen her again. Message. I take that as a message. I went, okay. Everybody said, Patty, talk about what happened. Write a book about what happened to you. I'm like, everybody's got stuff they go through in life. What could I possibly say? But when she said that to me, it made me realize we all gently need to be reminded to live our gifts. Now you have homework. If you don't know what your gifts are, that person that you're visualizing a year from now, what's that gift you want to see yourself doing? What is that gift? You can think about that. When you get quiet, you think about how you're going to step into this new life. There's so many cool things about spirituality and metaphysics, where the beginning of the new year, your birthday, springtime, where you can create the canvas and step into a new life. It's pretty amazing. It's just that you have to continue walking in that light and that consciousness of love. And if you're getting a little tripped up because that voice just keeps coming back, sit with it. Figure it out. Figure it out. Go, okay, I heard you. And move back there. Don't stay there. They want to win. That voice wants to win. Don't let it win. Go back to that year from now. Who are you? Summer, fall, next spring. What are your gifts? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? You know what happens when you listen to the gifts that live inside of you? And you start using them? Your relationships with your coworkers, with your family members, your friends, all improve because you are living your authentic self. But you know which relationship improves the most? The one with yourself. You've listened to what's in here. You are writing your own story. But your own story already existed before you came onto this earth. You know that, right? You wouldn't be sitting here if you weren't. That story, that purpose, all of the things that we do in life from our family, friends, work, become a part of our story. But don't let it dilute your highest story. What is it that you want to say? If you visualize yourself being well, then know, for example, if you're facing an illness, know that when you hold that vibration of visualization of being well, that a new treatment, a new person, a new someone is going to be in your life to help you, if nothing else, energetically carry you to the next place. We can live like this. We can live like this. We can choose new life. We can color our own Easter eggs, the sphere that lives outside of us. Our auric field will change. Your colors will change. I know a lot of you may have had your auric field read. It's pretty cool. Have you ever done that? Oh, we're going to have some of that at the Conscious Living Expo? Oh, we're going to have to talk about that. Really, seriously, take an aura picture and you can see what colors you're emulating. And then you say, okay, that chart says this, this, and this. You step into your own auric field. I mean, you're in it, and as you change your vibration, as you change your visualization, as you change your law of attraction to the people that come to you, you change the colors that you possess within your auric field. And you take the aura, and then you take the energy of the heart mass solution 8 feet in front of you. What is in your heart is being delivered out into the world. So you have that choice. You can write your own story. Nobody is stopping you. Unless you are. Now, I gave you a few tools today. One is, think about what your gifts are. And when you get quiet, have a little fun like a kid picking up something new to do. Have you ever seen a kid do a big transformer in and out of its form? Oh my gosh, they visualize themselves making that transformer into the car. This is the kind of thing I'm thinking of. We can transform our lives into being what it is we know deep down inside should have a voice while we're still on this planet. Take that year from now and just be excited for writing your own story. You'll see that new life start to manifest. Things will be clearer, the colors will be more intense, and the love you feel back from people is going to excite you like crazy. So on that I say, happy new life, happy Easter, write your own story, namaste, God bless, thank you. We're going to do a song that you know while the ushers are going to go to all of you. And then we're going to say prayer after we bring all of the offerings up to the front, okay? I thought in light of all of the things that are going on in the world, in our hearts, in our lives, but especially in the world right now, that we'd go to John Lennon, do one of my favorites. It's on my Inspired CD. I love this song so much. And it's a tune called Imagine, and I'd love it if you sang it with me, okay? All right. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy, just try. No hell below us. Look above. It's only sky. And imagine all the people living for today. Imagine my background vocalist, so that's good. It isn't hard to do, nothing to kill or to die for, and no religion too. And then imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, you can sing, but I'm not the only one. I know someday they will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, just this brotherhood of man. And then imagine all the people sharing in one world. Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know someday they will join us, yes, and the world will live as one. As one. Ooh, as one. Imagine. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Ushers. All right, Jordan. Thanks to my son for being here. Beautiful. Think of your fellow man. Come on. Send him a helping hand. What? You see it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Hey. All right, you know this. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your hearts. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred go, put a little love in your heart. And the world, come on. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. Here we go. Take up